Well, I sat here on Thursday night and said to you, I feared escalation. Not just escalation of words, but of action too. And over the course of the last 24 hours, up to 30 cruise missiles hit a site just 12 miles from the border with Poland, which of course is a NATO country. We also hear from the Russian government that supplies that are coming into the country, whether they are British, American, whether they come from Norway, wherever, that those convoys going into Ukraine, arming the Ukrainian army, they will now be considered to be legitimate targets. So the war continues. The war gets more serious. The war moves further to the west. The people of Mariupol have now had an estimated 2,000 civilians killed. Nothing is getting any better. And yet, in many ways, Putin's military campaign is struggling because there's no question he's meeting a much stronger Ukrainian resistance than he ever believed would happen. The world holds its breath, fearful, particularly because Putin himself has dared to even talk about the possible use of nuclear weapons. It's almost unbelievable, inconceivable, but it's happening. And yet, in the middle of all of this, is a peace deal possible? Well, I think it is, and I'll tell you why. Those two eastern provinces are Russian-speaking provinces, in the same way that the Crimea was back in 2014. And I think a peace deal could be struck if Vladimir Putin still possesses the rational function, and it would mean Ukraine effectively having to say to those two eastern provinces, okay, you have a referendum, you decide your future, you decide whether you stay part of Ukraine or whether you join Russia. And of course, the likelihood is they would join Russia, but hey, in a referendum, as we learned, you can never, ever predict the result. It would mean Ukraine making quite a major concession. But it may just be that's the only way to get Putin to withdraw all of his forces. But the problem is, who is the peace broker? Because very clearly, it is not the leader of the free world. Very clearly, it is not Joe Biden, who frankly is not fit for purpose. No, it's China. Increasingly, Putin is having to turn to China to sell his oil and gas in the future. And China faces a very big strategic decision. If they go with Russia, lock, stock and barrel, they will damage, perhaps irreparably, their terms of trade with the rest of the world as we begin to seek alternatives. Or could China, could the Communist Party in China, the people that I've feared for many years, could they be the people in this situation that could broker a peace deal? Let me know, what do you think? Is a peace deal possible? Farage at gbnews.uk.